What's up, everybody? This is episode 54 of Hoops Talk with Dave's Joint. Shout outs to everybody that's been supporting the venture so far, or shall I say the journey. For those who haven't seen none of our episodes, check it out on YouTube, Facebook, and IGTV. But without further ado, we have a very special guest in the building tonight. He's a state champion, college athlete, and also a business owner. I give you Mr. Bryce Council. Bryce, thank you for coming on, to share your testimonial tonight.
Thank you for having me, Dave, man. Been following, really appreciate everything you're doing just for the basketball community in general. And I'm so excited to be on the show, man, and I appreciate you. Thank you.
Indeed. So let's start from the beginning. So now being that you're still playing ball, what motivates you to be successful in the game of basketball?
In the game of basketball, just finishing what I started. I had a goal growing up to get a scholarship to play basketball, and I achieved that goal. And I just want to finish what I started, finish getting my degree, and I love the game. So I'm super excited to still be blessed to be able to play. And I just, I feel like I have a lot left to prove as a basketball player.
Indeed. So let's start from the beginning again. What part of talk about growing up in Harlem, and what's the basketball culture like in the borough?
Growing up in Harlem, it taught me to be tough at a young age. I was always smaller than a lot of the players, a lot of the people in my neighborhood that I was playing against. And it just gave me that grit and that dog I believe I have to just, go after it. I remember when I first really got to go outside in Harlem by myself. The first time I stepped on a basketball court, I was denied to play, I cried, stuff like that. And I remember just going home, telling my dad, and him telling me, don't ever let that happen again. You're going to work your way onto the court. And that's exactly what I did. And then, just growing up, that grit, that dog, that fight, never to back down and to just say yes to every challenge. So I think that's the most important thing that Harlem has taught me, just growing up.
So what are some of the tournaments that you love playing in growing up?
Growing up, some of the tournaments, oh man, Rod Strickland was one of my favorite tournaments. I love Gaucho's round ball. I'm talking about my young AAU days. Those is Gaucho's round ball was good. Riverside used to have a little Riverside Classic right in a small church. I used to love playing in that. Of course, traveling AAU, MIT, but then also just playing in my playing in the city. Rucker, that's an experience in itself. Dykeman, of course. So all places like that, man. I love playing in. I love the energy, the atmosphere. Everything's great.
So what teams did you play for, AAU and otherwise, outside of school?
Outside of school, so I started off, my first team ever was Kibbs Bay Boys and Girls Club. I started off playing there, and then I went over to Fast Break, and then from Fast Break we did New Heights, and then I went to Riverside before ultimately, we settled down with Wrens, and then my high school career I played with Team AJ Price.
Shout out to Team AJ Price. They had some pretty good teams back then.
Yeah, man, we had some studs, man. I'm glad to see a lot of the kids, a lot of the dudes I play with, doing some good things. So it's a great joy to see.
Now, let's talk about LaSalle. Why did you choose to go there?
So it's crazy. 7th and 8th grade, I went to school in Westchester, Edgemont Junior Senior High School. It's funny because I didn't really want to leave, but I had moved out the district, so I wasn't allowed to stay, and we were trying to figure out a way to stay. And basically, it came down to Cardinal Hayes and LaSalle. And Cardinal Hayes, it wasn't that much of a pursuit to come get me. That was my dad's alma mater. So I was thinking about it. I was really excited to go to Hayes. My dad went there. I wanted to play basketball there. And then I met Coach Jerome Pinnell in the back of 4th Park in Rucker. And that changed my life, man. I had an immediate connection with him, with somebody that, I felt really close to and that I trusted. And he was a very important person in my life, and I made that choice to go to LaSalle, and I'm so happy. One of the best decisions I've ever made.
Shout outs to Cardinal Hayes, because my little brother's going there in September. He's about
Yeah,
to be a
great school.
freshman. So now I gotta pay a bag to send him there. But
Yeah, man, I get it for sure.
Yeah.
It's a great school though. I think you'll love it.
Yeah, man. But it's one of the cheapest in New York City, though. Cheapest Catholic schools. Because a
Yeah,
lot of the
Catholic
schools
school
are up
expensive.
but I mean, St. Ray's is about $8,000. Mount is about maybe 12. Stepinac is probably 12. Iona Prep is over 20,000.
Yeah, So
Yeah, man.
that's a good place then. If you look at it that way, Cardinals is
That's
a
true.
great place.
True. So talk about. I'm pretty sure all throughout middle, like up to middle school, you were you went to school with girls. Obviously, you always had a co-ed situation. Like, how was it in the beginning? Going to an all boys school.
It was definitely an adjustment. Number one, because I'm coming from Westchester to the city, so now I'm taking a train every day. That was the first major adjustment. And then LaSalle having to wear a uniform every day. I got yelled at first day of school because I didn't have my tie on correctly and like just in the middle of the hallway in front of everybody. But the all boys situation, it wasn't too bad. We had our sister school, so after school it used to be like some girls outside of our school, and we used to go to their school. It was a great experience, though. It was something to get used to, but it helped me ultimately stay focused and leave LaSalle an honor student. So it's all right. Guess it worked out.
So who was yelling at you?
Coach Pennell wasn't my dean yet. It was Mr. Polanco, Mr. Ray Polanco. He was he's been there for a while.
Wow. So yeah. So we got that down. So talk about, how many years did you play varsity?
So I played under Coach Pennell for 4 years. My freshman year I came in and I played JV, and my sophomore year I moved up. I moved up to varsity and I played varsity for 3 years. So
how's the competition in the A division?
So when I had first got there, my freshman year, our varsity team wasn't that good. We had like 2 down years, and we ultimately dropped. And the goal was to get us back up, and that was my goal. That was Coach Pennell's goal. That was all the other seniors. That was our goal. So every year we just worked to get up. So I think when we talk about competition, I think that it's talent everywhere in every division, and I think that it was great, playing against all the people we played against. I stand by this. I say this all the time. My senior year, I think we could have competed in the AA, and been a very good team. I think we had a very good team. We played a couple teams in like preseason and stuff like that. We did really well, beat a couple teams. And we lost 2 games my senior year, and I think that I wish we could have played a couple more teams, but I think that we could have competed in AA for sure.
So, talk about playing in a small gym like the one you guys have. It's not like the original basketball, like the original LaSalle gym that was in the Basketball Diaries, but it's much smaller. Like, you guys got the stage, you got the little bleachers on the side. Like, talk about that.
Playing at LaSalle was crazy because the energy, you felt it. We had the student section on the stage, so after we had scored in the first half, everybody's going crazy, dapping people up. Then people on the sideline, you can legit hear every bad thing about you, every good thing about you. So it was great, just playing, feeling the energy. At times, when teams pressed us, I was wishing we had a bigger court. Made it a little easy to trap, but that also worked in our advantage because we could play that defense that we wanted to play. So I think that it was, it has its advantages and disadvantages, but I think ultimately I enjoyed playing in a small gym. The energy was great, and I loved my LaSalle basketball experience.
Now, talk about playing for Jerome Pennell.
That guy right there is the GOAT, man. He brought some stuff out of me that I didn't even know I had, just he instilled confidence in me. He put the ball in my hands. He trusted me. And he always told me, like, the ball's in your hands. We're going to win and lose on you. Make the smart decisions, play basketball, be smart, keep my emotions under control. And ultimately, I think that I'm a scholarship athlete because of him. I think he really really believed in me, man. Like, it was a different type of – we had a great relationship. He really believed in me, and he legit had my back against any and everybody. Like, he would put me against anybody in this world. And I think that was the best thing about our relationship on and off the court. He just trusted me, and it was a great feeling.
So during your time at LaSalle, you played with James Bouknight, who's now at UConn. Like,
Yeah.
Talk about, playing alongside him and seeing where he's made it to.
Crazy, because James and LaSalle, like his first year, his first and second year, he was just like that annoying kid. He would just bother me all the time. He was just like the annoying kid, just talk a lot. And my junior year, I was the leading scorer. I led in almost every category besides rebounding, but we lost. I played a bad game. We lost in semifinals to a team I wasn't supposed to lose to, and that was a real reflection for me because, it hurt. James didn't play that game, but I remember that same summer we had team camp, and we went to Ryder basketball camp, and I saw James. James is obviously at the camp with us, but he played. Like, he actually got to play as a sophomore at LaSalle. Like, we had an okay team, but he didn't play as much. So that year of going into the junior year, going to my senior year, I saw something. I was like, yo, this kid James is really good. And I noticed that Ryder camp, I was like, yo, if I want to win this year, like, he has to have the ball. Like, he has to be our scorer. Like, I can't be the guy. I got to take a back seat. I just got to play that, like, D-Wade role. And so going into the year, me and him just had a conversation. And there was a lot for me to just, like, my pride. And I was just like, yo, like, do your thing. Go out there and get buckets. And that's what he did. And I think playing with him was great. He matured a lot, and he's still maturing. He's getting better. Like, every time I see him, we're still close. But our relationship just kept building. He trusted me. I trusted him. We used to go at each other a lot in practice. We always want to guard each other, argue with each other, go at it. But it was a blessing to play with him, man. It was really fun. He's one of the best scorers I've ever played with. His game is so smooth. He's a really good player. I'm excited to see what he does next.
So, talk about that senior year where you guys won both Catholic state and state championship.
So, like I said, just to rewind a little bit, so my sophomore year, we had a chance to go deep in the playoffs, and I broke my hand. I fractured a bone in my hand, and I missed that game. I missed the playoff game, and it was just so sickening to me because it was like nothing I could do. Then my junior year, we come back. I think we're like the second or third best team in the league, and we played a team that we're supposed to beat, a team Sacred Heart, and we lost. I played a terrible game in the playoffs. We lost, and I was just so down on myself. So going into my senior year, my goal was the championship. And I'm talking the state championship. I wanted it all. So that year, we went into the season with a chip on our shoulder. We worked very hard that summer, and we end up losing 2 games the whole year to the same team, McClancy. We lost to them twice in December. In a matter of like 2 to 3 weeks, we lost to them by 2 and by 1. And that's when I really realized, it's time to give James the ball, because the last time we lost to them, I went and I missed the game winner. But the play was designed for James to get the ball back. But I took the game winner, had a conversation with Coach Fernand after that. And then after that, we had to work out all the differences we had, get all the kinks out, and make a run. We went out to Miami, won a championship out there, tournament out there, came back, ran through our conference. We end up seeing the same team, Sacred Heart. We saw them in the championship, same team that knocked us out the year before. And they had Dylan Wuso, who's going to St. John's this year from I forgot what high school he went to after Sacred Heart, but he was a really good player. And it was really good. We beat them. we had another state championship game at Fordham versus, I think, West Hill, I want to say, or St. Mary's, something. And then we went out to Federations, and everybody was pumping this game with Fannie Lou. I don't know why, but everybody in the city was, like, pumping this game. I was getting DMs about this game. We ended up beating them, and then we had one more goal, Federation Championship, and we got that. So that year was amazing to me because we were on such a high for the last part of the season, you know, January on, 2017 on. We were on such a high, and we executed, we finished. Then I see myself on the news, you know, after we won, just holding up the trophy with a big smile on my face. We played on national television, so, like, all my friends and family watched the game, and it was just – I was excited, man. We came back to school, had a little parade. It was great because it was everything, you know, we talked about that we wanted to do. We actually got it done. So that was great.
So what was your recruitment looking like as a senior?
As a senior, so I got my first offer going into my senior year from Queens College. I was kind of set. I was set on going to Queens College. That was, like, the school that I really loved. It was my first scholarship. And things fell through just for a couple of different reasons. But I was kind of basically committed there, like, verbally, basically. I was going there. Some funny things happened. You know, my SAT, some with my SAT. So that's a little, any young kids, high school kids watching this, man, I had great grades. But I didn't take my SAT prep very seriously. So I would recommend, you know, any kids watching this to take that seriously. But I ended up not going to Queens. And then I had Mercy, Georgian Court, was getting looked at by Dominican and a few other Division II schools. And then I had some, you know, Division III schools, good academic schools, RPI. I went to go visit in a couple more different schools. And I basically was on my last two of Mercy and Georgian Court, and I went on my Georgian Court visit. It just felt kind of like home, and I made the decision to go to New Jersey for the next 4 years.
Now talk about, you know, Georgian Court, the school. Like, what's it like out there?
It's very different, you know, than what I expected. It's a small school, so, you know, I kind of know everybody. Everybody knows each other. I'm very close with all the staff. I know where everything's at. It's kind of easy to get around. Can get in the gym when I want to, and I can't complain. You know, it's something I always wanted. You know, a free education, so I can't complain about it. Georgian Court is a great place. A little small, but hey, it's not one of the big schools, but it's a great school.
You know, talk about playing for the team. Like, you guys haven't been on the D2 level that long, right?
Yeah, we haven't been boys. The Georgian Court was all girls.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so a lot of people don't. Georgian Court was all girls, and then they started to add boys. But we only our basketball team is fairly new. I think we're about 8 to 9 years old, if that. So I think you know, it was all about, like, a growing process. We had went through a couple different coaches before I got there, and my coach has been there now. I think this is going to be his 5th year. So we got some consistency, and, like, during the years, we've been getting better and growing. Last year, my junior year, was the first time we ever made the playoffs. So we've been taking, you know, steps and growing, and you know, it's just been cool to just be a part of a process of growth and just learning and you know, building the blocks to the foundation. It's been lovely to be a part of that journey. You know, it has its ups and downs, but, you know, if that makes your story better. We do something good this year, that makes, you know, this story better about how we started, where we came from.
So you were, like, the 5th leading scorer with 6.8 points per game. Talk about your junior year overall.
I had a pretty rough year, you know, just due to injuries and due to a lot of other things. I knew my role in college wasn't really going to be a scorer. So what I did was I just found a way to just, you know, make sure I played defense, was the best leader I can be, and, you know, just make sure I got all my teammates involved. So I actually broke the Georgian Court school assist record I broke that in, 2.5 years. I broke that in the beginning of this year. Have the single season assist record. So, outside of points, been doing pretty well. But I felt like this year could have been a little better. I got hurt, sat out a couple games, was banged up a lot. So this year I just been really focusing on getting healthy, make sure I'm healthy and ready to go.
Wow, so you're the all-time assist leader at the school.
Yes, all time.
Single
season, all time career.
So let's talk about, some other things outside of school. So talk about your relationship with Cole Anthony. It seems like you guys have always been close.
Yeah, that's my guy. We've been close since we were kids, young kids. And that's my guy. We push each other on and off the court. That's family. So that's good, man. I'm proud of him and all the things he's doing. And yeah, it's been somebody great to just be around all the time. That's my guy. Him, Judah, Joe, all them guys. That's the crew right there.
Yeah, man. Shout outs to all the guys in your crew. Judah, Cole. I'm missing somebody, probably Hector.
Joe, oh yeah, my boy moving pictures, yeah. But Joe Tucson, my boy Iowa.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, shout out to my boy Chauncey too, St. Francis, yes sir.
Yeah, man. Shout outs to Chauncey. He's doing big things over there.
For sure.
So let's talk about your brand, CY Soon. Like, what made you come? Well, like, what did you Why did what made you name that? And also like talk about your love for clothes.
So CY Soon came after the end of my freshman year. So during my college career, I battled a series of injuries. Mostly having to do with my feet. So I was in the boot. I had got hurt. I had just got my starting position, and I had got hurt, and I was really down. I was in a dark place, and I was just sad. And I was working out, just trying to get my motivation back. And I just looked in the mirror, and I was like, "Yo, like, what am I wearing?" And then one of my teachers, I think, came in the weight room and just asked me, like, what did Nike mean? And I literally did not know. So I went back to my room. I was talking to a friend, and I just kept saying, like, I'll be back soon. I'll be back soon. Then I wrote it down in my notes, and every picture on Instagram, I started hashtagging soon. And I'm like, this is a sign, like it means something. And so in my notes, I started just writing down, different things for soon, different things that soon meant. So that's when I came up with the something out of nothing. And I was having a conversation with a friend, and I was just telling him, like, my journey from high school to college to just growing up in Harlem, it wasn't easy. I had to believe in myself, had to count myself in. Then that's when I got the CYI, which means count yourself in. So the whole brand just came together and was like, count yourself in and make something out of nothing. So I just wanted to, instill that belief, that self-belief in people. People going to always tell you can't do something or you're not good enough to do something. In my case, a lot of people telling me I was too short to even play college basketball. And, look at it now. When I started my brand, a lot of people told me I was going to be done in a couple months. I started with 12 shirts, and now I have a full inventory, full website, everything that I built up, with no handouts. So I just want to instill self-belief, help people, believe in themselves. Somebody like you started your whole site, this whole series you're doing now, like just believing in yourself. So I think that some people sometimes just need that extra push. So my thing for clothes, man, I always, my dad always kind of dressed well. So I always kind of wanted to be like him.
Right.
But I think for me, I wanted to do something that was bigger than just the clothes. I wanted people to wear something that meant something to them. So that's why the hoodie I have on now, it's a hoodie that I haven't dropped yet, or a shirt I haven't dropped yet, just for the simple fact that the fist, like how powerful it is. I've seen a lot of people, just doing stuff for right now. And I think that this is something we need to do long-term and forever. And it's just counting ourselves into our community and believing in our community. So I'm kind of waiting for, not things to die down, because things shouldn't die down, but I'm kind of waiting for people to, stop with the just, being opportunist. Because like one thing about my brand and myself, I always wanted to be authentic. So this means a lot to me, and it's a whole story behind all of the designs and everything I do, in the message. And the fist is a powerful thing. So I want to make sure I drop it at a time where it's not anything for opportunists. I'm going to have all the money go to charity, but it's just something that I want to, I want to help our community believe in our own community. Like, we give all this money to all these designer brands. Think about if we spent all that money with ourselves, how far off we would be. So that's one of the things that I want to do with my brand, and that's why I put certain things on clothes.
So, how is it being a business owner and a student athlete?
It's difficult, honestly. I mean, it's been a couple of times I got flagged. I certain things I can't do because of the NCAA. It's been rough, especially last year as my brand has started to grow. It's been a lot of bumps in the road, but I wouldn't change it. It's difficult. Being a great student, running a real business, and then being a basketball player. It's difficult at times because you got to balance everything out. You can't, like, if I'm studying too much, but then I got to get a whole bunch of orders out. It's like, when do I get to the gym? So it's like making sure, and that's what I learned, just time management and scheduling is big time for me now. I have a whole calendar with things I need to get done. I write down, a little schedule for what time things need to get done at. And, I balance it and I work through it and I live and I learn.
It's hard because, I didn't think that because you guys were a Division II program that, that it would affect you negatively as far as like getting the flag. Because it's like a lot more money is into Division I. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's where most of the money is at. So it's a shame that, that they're giving you grief about, profiting from something that you love to do, which to me, I don't believe is fair. Like, I hope that they at some point, change some things, because it's like there's a lot of kids out there that are struggling, that are athletes.
Definitely.
You know what I'm saying? Like, these schools are getting rich. Coaches are getting rich off of the kids, but, the kids are still struggling. They have to eat ramen noodles. You know what I'm saying? They got to eat the same old cafeteria food, which I'm sure they don't want to eat all the time.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
The thing that a lot of people don't even understand is, Division I athletes, they can't really even have a job. And also the same thing with Division II and Division III. I think when you make a sports commitment, it's hard. My coach can call me and say, we have a mandatory study hall at a certain time, or we have to do this charity event at a certain time. So it's hard to even schedule things. So I think for the NCAA, I don't want to talk about it too much. I don't want to get myself in more trouble, but I think that I hope they come to a common ground where some student athletes can make some type of money and do different things they enjoy to do, because it's something that I had to go through this year firsthand. I experienced it. It was rough because it was times where it was just like which passion do I give up? Like, why do I have to pick? Why can't I do both? So it was hard. I just tried to follow the guidelines as much as possible, and just be careful what I was doing and what I was posting and stuff like that. But, we got through it. So,
next year you'll be a college graduate, so after that you won't have to worry about anything anymore.
Yeah, man, it's been a long journey, but it's almost over. A couple more credits left.
But yeah, for a lot of Division I guys, like, for them it's rough because, like you said, they can't have a job. A lot of the regular kids may not even be able to understand that. Yes, their education is being paid for, but what the regular students don't realize is they probably may have more money in their pockets than the athletes do, because they're able to make money.
Able to do different things, go to work, grind, do a lot of different things. Us athletes, it's a lot of wear and tear on your body, first of all.
And then, you know, scheduling, you just never know. I know all my college athletes can attest to that. You just never know what can pop up and what can happen. And, you know, the scholarship is great. It's a blessing. But, you know, it's a little something extra, especially when the schools are earning big time money off of the kids.
Right. So how have the youth responded to CY soon?
I get a lot of great feedback, honestly, you know, and that's the thing that, you know, warms my heart and makes me feel like I'm actually doing something, you know. Have kids tell me I inspire them or I'm their motivation and different stuff like that. Have kids, you know, email me just about buying the brand and how much like they believe in the brand and how much it means to them. So that's the most important part for me. You know, I just want to show the youth. You know, I'm a young kid from Harlem, right there, 135th. I could have easily went another direction, you know. In Harlem, it's a lot of you see more wrong than I think you see right. So I think that I kind of want to change that narrative, not from the fact of just like being an athlete, but just me as a person, being a businessman. My goal within the next 2 years is open a business, you know, open a store where I grew up at. So that's the goal, and that's what I'm gonna do. And I'm gonna show, you know, the young kids after me that it's different ways to, you know, get out the hood, make it out the hood, and do different things. You know, you don't have to follow the trend of doing negative things, man. And I think that's the most important part. I think a lot of kids, you know, in rough communities just don't get to see, you know, the bright side. I've been blessed with great friends and a great family who have showed me different things at a young age, and it helped me, you know, just keep my life on a straight path because I know exactly, you know, what I want to do and what I want to get to. You know, some kids aren't blessed with that, and that's okay. And I just want to help them, you know, find different ways. That's not the only way is not to do bad things or, you know, anything like that. So I just want to instill that hope, instill that belief. And I just want to be somebody that the community could look at and be proud of.
Absolutely, man. You doing a wonderful job with your brand, man. So
Appreciate
if you could find a place, you know, to have the store at, where in Harlem would you do it?
It's rough actually. I'm in the process of looking at a couple different places. I really somebody I look up to is Nipsey Hussle, and I really like how he bought property and opened, you know, right where he grew up at. Where I grew up at is not the best particular spot in terms of traffic. So if I open the store, I want to open a store somewhere on Lenox Avenue or 7th Avenue, and you know, a place where it attracts, you know, a lot of just attraction, a lot of people. But I also eventually down the line in my neighborhood, in my direct neighborhood on my block, I'm gonna have some property on there too. But ideally, if I was to open a store right now, I want it to be somewhere on Lenox or 7th Avenue.
Indeed. I mean, those are some good spots right there.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We working, man. Very, very soon. Very soon.
So I mean, Cole's about to be drafted in a couple of months. Would you make him be like your first, you know, that first person that sponsors the brand?
I don't know, man. We talk about a lot of different things. At the end of the day, that's family. So he's supporting regardless of any like real logistics. But we're definitely gonna be doing something. But he's definitely always supporting. He's always wearing it. You know, when he committed to UNC, he had it on. He's been doing a whole bunch of, you know, just like interviews and different things for the news, and he's been supporting the brand. You know, that's genuine, authentic love without me asking.
Mm-hmm.
So if something like that happens, that'll be great. But we're gonna ultimately figure it out and see how it goes.
I mean, if he was the first one to market your brand, I mean, that would be good because you're gonna have kids in the suburban communities, you know, kids of all races wanting what he got because he's wearing it.
Definitely, he's wearing it. You know, it's been a lot of people who's legit swiped up. I got this shirt because I seen Cole had it on. You know, I appreciate that. So it's been a lot of love, and I appreciate him, and we support each other, you know, through everything we're doing. So I think, down the line, if when something happens and like the draft comes or whatever, we'll stuff like that will get figured out on its own, man. But we have a lot of things in works.
Yeah, man. So this is a question I love to ask, all my guests before I lead to the last question. So if you could go back to 2017 when you won the championship, what would you tell Bryce at 17?
What would I tell Bryce? Right now, me telling Bryce?
Right, if you could go back in a time machine.
I tell him life is a marathon, not a sprint. During that time, when I won the championship, it was a blessing, but I was going through my whole school situation, not knowing where I was going to end up. I was very sad. That championship was well needed, but I just felt like I worked very hard and I wasn't getting any type of recognition or like the stuff I needed because the division we played in. And I would just tell them, cherish the people who believed in you and supported you. During that time, I used to always say, like, oh, if I didn't go to LaSalle, if I went to like a Hayes or a better school, be a Division I player. But that's not necessarily the case, man. I had a great coach who believed in me, who ultimately became family, somebody I talked to on a daily, somebody my parents talked to, my sisters, my siblings. So it's something that's very important to me, relationship. And that's somebody that's going to be my guy for life. And I end up getting a scholarship. So I would just tell him, man, it's a marathon, not a sprint. Be patient, run your race. Don't worry about anybody else, what anybody else has going on, man. You're going to be great, man. You're destined for great things. And I would just, put that confidence in myself back then.
My God. Well, thank you so much for coming on. And I wish you and CY soon and Georgian Court nothing but the best moving forward.
I appreciate that so much, Dave.
Yeah, man. So everybody, this is episode 54 of Hoops Talk with Dave's Joint. Shout outs to Bryce and everything that he's accomplished thus far with the brand and with playing at Georgian Court. So if you're a Georgian Court student, or if you're from Harlem, or a true supporter of CY soon, check this interview out on YouTube, Facebook, and IGTV. Stay blessed, stay safe. Peace.
Yes, sir.